Welcome back to Foxborough, Mass. College football 85 on USA. Miami 10, Boston College 3. Standing in twin safety for the University of Miami, they'll have Brett Harriman on the near side, and on the far side, Mike Irvin, who fumbled a punt by Steve Peach. Interestingly enough, Kyle, the one thing both coaches were concerned about were turnovers, trying to prevent them. And so far today, all three scores, a field goal and a touchdown by Miami and the field goal by Boston College, have come as a result of fumbles, turnovers. They have obviously played a part here so far.
Now with the penalty, the kickoff comes from the 45. Miami had all their people up front, anticipating perhaps Bicknell would, who is pretty much an aggressive coach, might even try an onside kick there. He doesn't. And with that, the ball come out to the 20. The Hurricanes take over.
So David Rooney trying to test that toe and get things going. As you look to the sideline, the Miami side, you saw Jeff Torretta, who is the backup quarterback for Miami, number 13. And you may get a chance to see him before this one is over with. We'll have quickie stats to summarize the first quarter, but right now, as we get set to go, second quarter action here at Foxborough. Vinny Testaverde, the quarterback. They go with a pro set look, and Alonzo Highsmith gets the call for the first time. Big, strong guy, knocked down over here by Neil Eiton. They don't come any stronger than this guy, Kyle, and even in your best superstar days, I don't know that you could have done 31 chin-ups in 60 seconds.
I don't think so. There are the first quarter stats. You see how much the passing game is dominating the game for both teams. And really only the turnovers have kept the score from being higher.
Second down and 4, ball at the 26-yard line. How can that be? Second, that's right. My math is going to get better. There's Alonzo again. We saw Highsmith do some great things in the Maryland game last year and then was injured on our telecast on USA. He is 6'1", 228 pounds, and I wasn't kidding. He can do 31 chin-ups in 60 seconds. Not bad for a kid that's close to 230.
Not at all. He, as we mentioned, has a little ankle problem. He's a guy that went 906 yards last year, missed the last 2 or 3 games, though, with an injury. So he's easily a 1,000-yard rusher.
Highsmith and Warren Williams, the running backs now. Mike Irvin, nice little move. Breaks away from Eiton and close to the 50-yard line. The linebacker, Ted Gaffney, with an ankle tackle. So Gaffney has to pull him down from behind, but oh, is he a tricky little fellow, Irvin. Here's a fellow at 6'2", 190, the freshman from Fort Lauderdale, who had 3 men standing around him, and he put moves on all of them.
Well, he's trying to make up for the fumbled punt that he made the catch on earlier, which gave Boston College the opportunity to go down and to kick the field goal. Freshman getting a lot of playing time for the Hurricanes.
22 yards in the pickup, 1st and 10. Going to give it over to Warren Williams. You don't hear much about him, but he had the most carries in their last game against Rice and did a good job. Williams is averaging about 5 yards a carry, and the tackle that time by John Galvin, another linebacker. Oh, right now it's 2nd down and 4. Gave him a pickup of 6, 45-yard line. Second quarter action, 10-3 Miami with the ball. They are in BC territory. Highsmith, the blocking fullback. Warren Williams, the tailback. Give it to Highsmith. Stiff arms and down inside the 30. Neil Eiton pulls him down, but flags again thrown. I don't know whether there was a face mask or not there.
Well, more than likely it is. I think it will probably be an unintentional face mask, which will mean it's only a 5-yard penalty. But let's see what the call is.
There it is. And it'll go against Boston College, but it looks like an unintentional. And the reason for that is Highsmith put some kind of stiff arm right up in Neil Eiton's mush.
Trading jabs for jabs.
Boy, he is something. The honorable mention All-American, Alonzo Highsmith.
Face mask, defense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
The reason we make such a big deal about it being unintentional is this year one of the rule changes, if it was an intentional face mask, it would be a 15-yard penalty.
That's the 4th penalty for Boston College. First downs, Boston College with an edge there. Highsmith and Warren Williams are the running backs. Run out of the split set, 1st and 10 from the 29. Alonzo. And he tries to get outside the pursuit that time. Garrick McPherson was there trying to pull him down. It's 2 carries for Alonso. He's got 20 yards, 4 carries, pardon me. He gets a couple of yards on that one. Alonzo Highsmith. I've been waiting to see him run. He is something else. Has 1,000+ yards career rushing. He's a sophomore. Perryman in, Brian Blades is out. Near side they go with Irvin. Perryman to the far side. Highsmith and Williams are the running backs. Give it to Warren Williams. And Warren Williams gets a little bit of running room. Bill Romanowski hit him first. Virginia Tech having a rough year, but leading Syracuse in the first quarter. Other scores. 3rd down and 2 coming up here. Navy over Virginia. Whoa, that would be an upset right there. First quarter. Number 47, Michael Irvin. You keep an eye on him. He's going to be a big name in Miami football history. Highsmith and Williams again with Perryman and Irvin, the wideouts. 3rd down and 2 from the 21. Warren Williams. And inside the 20-yard line, Warren Williams. Andy Hemmer, a backup linebacker, made the stop on another first down. Warren Williams gets that one, and right now for the Miami Hurricanes, they've got 6 first downs. The numbers on Warren Williams for 1985.
We mentioned earlier this was not going to be the defensive battle. It's really almost like the duel was last year. 47-45 game. Just one team trying to outscore the other. Jimmy Johnson concerned, though, because he knows to have any chance of moving up in the standings, he's going to have to develop a much better defense.
1st and 10. Run the reverse. Perryman. And Boston College is ready, and there are flags again. Carl Pelagata, the free safety, 194-pound senior from Michigan. And with the flags down, too many penalties in this football game so far, both sides. Looks like a low
clipping call against, excuse me, Eddie, a clipping call against Miami. It's the defense of BC stringing out the attack on the reverse.
Here it is officially.
Clipping during a run against the offense. First down.
So penalties have hurt. Turnovers have hurt. Here it is again.
Taking a look at Chuck Gorecki, number 95 on the backside. As that defense for Boston College trying to push towards the sidelines.
1st and 10. Vinny Testaverde with a screen. Warren Williams. Bill Romanowski didn't go for the fake, but it was Gorecki who finally made the tackle inside the 25-yard line. Romanowski gave him a pretty good pop about 5 yards before. Purdue and Notre Dame, that's always a dandy. 7-zip in the first quarter. Purdue, the Boilermakers. A couple of Indiana teams. And right now, Miami with a 10-3 lead in this one with 10:09 to play in the half. Brian Blades, Willie Smith, and Mike Irvin are the wideouts. Highsmith and Warren Williams are the running backs. Big rush. Good job.
Smart quarterback play. Testaverde throwing that one away. Threw it into the ground somewhere in the area of the receiver, but he didn't want anybody to catch that one.
They had a corner blitz coming that time with Vince Munn, who was coming on the play, and they put the heat on, and it's a 3rd down and 10.
Eddie mentioned we're having a stunt on the inside. Romanowski, 53, coming inside. We've got good pressure, and he throws it away. Bring the ball back to the original line of scrimmage.
Vince Munn was also involved with the pressure on that one. Vinny now 6 of 7 for 147 yards, but you mix in that 82-yard touchdown strike, and you understand why Miami leads at 10-3. And now we'll have a timeout.
Testaverde, excuse me, looked like he was trying to get the wide receiver up on the line of scrimmage, but he already had a tight end on that side. I'm not sure why he was trying to do that.
And we've got another penalty call coming up. 10-3 Miami. We'll be right back.
If you're thinking of buying a personal computer...
Time for penalty call. While we were away, they tried to run a quick play on us and see what happened. Serves them right.
That's right. We threw that flag on them, didn't we?
A holding call against Miami. So they set the ball back now to the 25-yard line. Actually, it's out over the 30 to the 33. Third down and 25. Underthrowing the intended receiver, Ryan Blades, with Garrick McPherson, the defensive corner, there to defend, and it'll bring up a fourth down situation. So penalties, turnovers have marred the first half so far.
Fortunately for Boston College that time, they were able to get that kind of pressure on Testaverde with only 4 people rushing, which allowed them obviously to keep 7 back in the pass coverage.
Ball is on the 33-yard line. 9:43. It'll be a 50-yard kick. Spotted down at the 40, add 10. 10-3 Miami. Greg Cox with David Kintai holding, and he kicked it up into the wind. The wind is blowing cross, and if it ever had a chance, it wasn't going to get there anyway because he kicked it right to start with. And the mascots are letting each other know that there'll be more. We'll be right back. 10-3.
This Jeep Cherokee has some amazing things going for it.
37 to play here in the first half of football. Eddie Doucette and Kyle Rote Jr. on USA Sports going across the land. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. And I hope you're enjoying some good weather. They finally have gotten some here in Boston.
Finally got some electricity back on, too.
Yeah, we didn't know until about half hour before game time whether this one would even go on. How'd you do shaving in the dark today?
Well, it wasn't too bad. The difficulty was that there's no electricity in this area, but it shows you that the people of Massachusetts have kept their priorities right. They've put football on despite the fact that no one in the area has any electricity on in their own house. The only line that they've run into this area came directly to this stadium.
Tracy Giles on the last carry for Boston College. Now coming into the ball game for BC, number 24, Ken Bell. Out over the ball is Mark Gowetzky. Joe Giaquinto is out to the far side, near side, about 10 yards is Kelvin Martin, and in motion goes Peter Casparillo, the blocking tight end. Give it to Kenny Bell. He's back to about the 40-yard line, so he maybe gets a yard on the carry and not much more than that. Second quarter, that's where we are. We're 8:52 and ticking. 10-3 Miami, and next week we'll be back in Pittsburgh to see how the Pitt Panthers can handle the charge of Joe Morrison's South Carolina Gamecocks on USA at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 Pacific. Third down 4, ball on the 40. Sean Halloran, play action pass. Halloran, pretty good protection. And Gieselman coming back. Boy, his receivers are doing a good job of coming back to the ball, Kyle, when Halloran gets in trouble. And Halloran using his protection to perfection. And
particularly the mobility of those tight ends. Let's take a look here. At the break by Gieselman, comes to the outside. He shows himself, fights back for the ball, as you said, Eddie. Makes a good two-handed catch. And a nice sidearm toss by Halloran, who shows he's got several ways to be able to complete them.
Sean, 13 out of 17, 148 yards. Tom Waddle, the freshman from Cincinnati. Darren Flutie, the sophomore from Natick, Mass. He's to the far side. Big rush here. Jerome Brown put the heat on, and almost a one-handed catch by Tracy Giles. George Myra, who has 22 tackles to lead Miami so far in 1985, was there to make sure he didn't get there. Myra, incidentally, in their last game against Rice, was the only linebacker outside of Rod Carter that played. Rice passed the ball 50 times and never huddled. They never set up. So they used one linebacker, and the rest were defensive backs, and they used the middle linebackers, Myra and occasionally Rod Martin, and they were exhausted when it was all over. Tracy Giles here near side. Halloran, there's that little readout pass. And there's a good defensive move by Miami's rush. And coming up there to put some heat on that time was Darren McMurray and Derwin Jones. But they're finally starting to rush with their hands high to try and prevent that little check-off read screen to either side.
It's a classic call by Boston College, and that time Derwin Jones, number 86, was able to move into the passing lane, which is what forced Halloran to loft the ball a little bit too high.
Dan Stubbs has just come in the ball game here for Miami. There he is. He'll line up at an end. Kelvin Martin far side on a 3rd and 10 at the 45-yard line. Split backs. Halloran to throw. Intended for Waddle inside the 35, deflected and almost picked off there. Under pressure by number 29, Don Ellis, the freshman left corner. Tolbert Bain almost had that ball in his mitts. And now Steve Peach, who's averaging about 38 yards a kick in 1985, will come in to boot for Boston College. He has had 1 punt today, 37 yards, and it resulted in a fumble recovery.
Kind of rusty from last week. Didn't get too many chances to punt.
He's had that right foot out in the rain all night. That's why. Little rust. Brent Perryman standing at his 16-yard line. Good kick. Little wind behind. Perryman at the 7. Blocker in front, David Kintow. Back to the 5. And pulled down at the 17-yard line. Joey Giaquinto, a very versatile performer. A 48-yard kick by Steve Peach. So Miami will have possession of the ball when we come back. They lead it 10-3. Eddie Doucette and Kyle Rote Jr. from Foxborough. Miami 10, Boston College 3. This is the home of the New England Patriots, as you can tell by the markings in the end zone. And I'll tell you something, about 11 o'clock last night, I wouldn't have given you very much that this game was going to get on today. They've done a marvelous job of putting it together in the wake of the tremendously tough circumstances that they faced yesterday with Hurricane Gloria.
Got to be the first time in history that a school's mascot was more dangerous than its football team.
I tell you, that wind was so strong it even bent Mr. Steele, Kyle Rote Jr. over. Back to the 20-yard line. Bill Thompson, the defensive end. The tackler, I believe, was Alonzo Highsmith, and that's who it was, who is stronger than dirt. He's got over 1,000 career yards, and he averages about 6.2 yards a carry.
A high-stepping Highsmith. Again, a lot of good leg drive.
A very intelligent man, Alonzo Highsmith, and you saw Bill Thompson. Not bad either. 2nd down and 7 on the 20-yard line. They pick up 3 on it. Vinny Testaverde gives it over to Williams, and the running back ekes his way out to the 25-yard line. 6 foot, 205-pound Warren Williams, and the tackle by Bill Romanowski, a sophomore linebacker from Vernon, Connecticut, who was the defensive MVP in the Cotton Bowl. Warren now with 19 unofficial yards. Warren Williams, 4 carries, 19 yards. David Kintai is the wide out to the near side. Out to the far side, Brett Perryman. Averages almost 20 yards per reception career. Highsmith. Ball loose. Tom Burrell, the big banger down there for Boston College.
Say, it's still not over, Eddie, because they're still in there trying to dig and fight. The referee's trying to pull people off one by one, but a lot of fumbles have been recovered right here after the whistle's been blown, as you use that muscle to try to get hold of the ball. Try to peel them off one by one.
Roddy and the Incredible Hulk going for it, and Boston College has taken over. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of what Miami had going for them in the first quarter now happening to Boston College. I told you we'd see a couple of miracles today.
Here's Testaverde on the handoff. Highsmith gets in there, gets hit hard by the linebacking core. Romanowski first, and then 72. Tom Porrell comes in, really puts a one on him. Here's the fumble, and Romanowski gets in there, uses the muscle to hold on to it. And for the second time, Boston College has been able to pick up possession in Miami territory.
Turnovers, a couple each. Ball at the 30, 1st and 10. Close to the 26-yard line. Ken Bell, the carrier, And Bruce Fleming, the tough man from Monaca, Pennsylvania, the hitter. 6'2", 230 pounds of blue twisted steel. Been watching some of those Jack Lambert highlight films. Clock is rolling. 5:54. Joe Giaquino and Tracy Giles near side. Kelvin Martin far side. Swing out. Tracy Giles. 24-yard line. It started at the 26, a couple of yards and no more, and Miami now starting to adjust to that read screen. It was Benny Blades, the free safety, who came over to make it, and there's a pretty good idea what those skies look like now. Pretty good idea of some of the spirit here at Foxborough this afternoon.
For Boston College, Halloran did make the right decision, though. They want to get the one-on-one, and even though Blades did a good job on the tackle, they're going to continue to try to get that one-on-one matchup out in open space.
Ball almost to the 24. That's Darren Flutie in motion. Halloran again, crawling to get him, and they've got it. Jerome Brown and Danny Studs. And Halloran is down momentarily. He'll come up. There he is, Jerome Brown, 275 pounds from Brooksville, Florida.
Jerome Brown, number 98, gets in there, crawls on his knees. The reason it's so difficult attacking this close in is that with the end zone only about 40 yards away, you really can't throw the bomb, and the defense knows that, so they're able to pick up and double up on their shorter receivers.
4th down, 15-35. Steve Peach is going to punt it. I'm a little surprised he didn't try and angle it, Kyle. The kicking game for Boston College is definitely not one of their strengths. And that time, Peach just let it go, and it'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. 4:27 to play in the half. Miami 10, Boston College 3. We'll be right back. Miami with a 10-3 lead. All of the scoring in this game in the first quarter. Nothing so far in the second. Eddie Doucette and Kyle Rote Jr. And again, next week we'll be back at Pitt Stadium, and it'll be South Carolina against the Pitt Panthers. All right, Miami with the ball. Ball is on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 with 4:27 to play in the half. And long and lean Vinny Testaverde, who his own teammates say really enjoy playing with, is the quarterback. Darrell Oliver is back with Melvin Bratton. Intended for Willie Smith. And I believe it was Carl Pelagata.
It was.
Who came over to break it up. And that man, Willie Smith, is the toughest of their receivers, 6'2", 230 pounds, who last year caught 67 out of 67, or 66 out of 67 catchable passes. Some of the scores going on. Virginia now 7, Navy 3, second quarter. Virginia rated number 20 in the nation. Can you imagine that? 67 catchable passes. He got 66 of them. Oliver and Melvin Bratton, the running backs. That's Darrell Oliver, a junior, and Bratton, a sophomore. 2nd down. Mike Ruth can't get there. And David Kintai trying to tightrope the sideline, could not stay in bounds and pull it in for Jimmy Johnson of the Miami Hurricanes.
Well, they are upset because he was wide open. And Testaverde, who was sprinting to his right, not rolling to his right, sprinting to his right to get away from the man who runs a 4.85. Watch 68 Mike Ruth. We've got obviously a stunt and a blitz here. Ruth 68 really put some pressure on. As we mentioned, well under 5 seconds in the 40. The ball thrown behind the receiver. It was catchable, but not a good pass by Testaverde.
But we've heard that Vinny Testaverde is a better runner than Bernie Kosar, and he's shown that already.
Yeah.
3rd down and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. Rush again. Nixon. Rick Nixon. .6'3", 225 pounds, a junior from Wellesley. And it's kicking time, and the defense has pumped up the Eagle fandom. Kelvin Martin at the 39-yard line. Looks up into the sun. Jeff Fiegels. Ball bounds. And comes back to the 45 and out of bounds right there.
Jeff Fiegel with a very feeble kick that doesn't even get out of the midfield area, and once again Boston College gets the ball in Hurricane territory at the 45.
J.C. Penney, believe it or not, was the man that touched the ball for Miami, and they will down the ball and place it at the 44. Coming up at halftime, we'll look at defensive linemen in college football. We'll also have our Wall Street Journal weekend memo, and we'll have first half highlights and statistics. Oh, we hope that you'll enjoy our halftime respite and let you know that right now Miami has a 10-3 lead with 3:31 to play here in the first half. Aside from some fumbles and some penalties, it's been a pretty enjoyable first half of football.
A lot of offense is always entertaining, and we'll see if by the end of the day we've had more fumbles than we have points. I doubt it.
Sean Halloran is in there. Incidentally, Boston College has been forced to make a little minor change in their offensive line. When Joe Wolf was hurt, they had to make a move with Steve Trapillo, the right tackle, and they moved him to the right guard position and moved David Weidel, a junior, from backup right tackle up to that #1 right tackle spot. So with Weidel 6'6", 285, and Trapillo 6'4", 275, they put a pretty good right side flank on Mark Gowetzky, the center, and then they come with Darryl Twombly, who is 6'3", 265, a junior at left guard, and Sean Regent, one of the co-captains, 6'4", 281, a senior at left tackle. Big front line, Boston College. Darren Flutie far side, Kelvin Martin near side. A flag, complete. Scott Gieselman with over 100 career receptions. Wrapped up there by number 31.
They're going to call it that he was down. His knee went down before the fumble.
Tolbert Bain was there also. See what we have here.
Have the ball spotted down at the 16-yard line, but there was a yellow flag against Boston College.
The referee going to bring it back right now, and it's a holding penalty, I believe, against Boston College. We'll bring it back. That would be their 5th penalty, and it will total out 35 yards. Let's get the call right here.
Holding, offense, repeat, first down.
So first down and 20 now against Jack Bicknell's team.
About a 40-yard differential between that completion and this penalty.
Ball now on the 46-yard line. There are the penalties right there, and that hurts. Mahalik is the blocking fullback in there with Tracy Giles. Long count by Halloran. Give it to Giles on the draw. And they lose a couple that time. Dan Stubbs made the initial penetration, I believe. Or was it number 86? That's who it was, Derwin Jones. Big Derwin from Miami, a sophomore, about 270 pounds.
I really appreciated Bicknell there. It looked like Halloran was audibling at the line of scrimmage. He saw the Miami defense and something that might have been susceptible to the draw. And even though it didn't work, Bicknell was on the sidelines clapping for Halloran that he did read the defense well, even though it didn't work.
Kelvin Martin far side. Second down, 19. Oh, he put his head down, got by Winston Moss, number 92. Got a couple of extra yards. Benny Blades was there, but George Myra will be credited with a tackle. So a third down situation coming, and the clock beating down toward halftime. 2:05 to play here at Foxborough, and 10-3 Miami. Halloran is 15 for 22 for 166 unofficial yards. Waddle, near side. Got it, Tracy Giles. What a big pass that was to keep it alive for Boston College. Benny Blades was there. Number 19 was also there. That is Darrell Fullington.
Both teams beginning to develop a tradition of really good quarterbacks, much like BYU has, but they're also developing a tradition of using younger players. Tracy Giles, the freshman, goes down between the seams of the linebacker coverage, makes the catch, and gets good penetration up to the first down for Boston College.
8th first down pass in BC. 1st and 10 on the 20. What an effort by Ken Bell to get the extra yards. and get down inside the 15-yard line. Benny Blades again, 6 feet 205, very smart free safety. And Ken Bell now with 23 yards for the afternoon. Kenny Bell coming in was averaging at about 3+ yards per game on his carries and about 6 yards on his pass receiving.
Reminder again, as Boston College has taken a timeout, they still have 2 left with 1:21 seconds left in the first half. And Boston College missing the best running back that this man, Jack McNeil, has ever been associated with. Of course, that is Troy Stratford, who continues to be hampered by the hamstring problems. He injured one hamstring last season. This season has injured another one. And that is not only hurting Boston College, but frankly, I'm sure that's hurting Stratford's pro chances. And we also want to remind you that next week we'll be back at Pitt Stadium, and those Fighting Gamecocks of South Carolina trying to take it on against the Panthers. Game will be, of course, 12 o'clock Eastern.
Miami scored first on a field goal. It was provided the opportunity on a fumble recovery. Then they went ahead 10-0 on another fumble recovery, and it ended up being an 82-yard touchdown pass to Brian Blades from Vinny Testaverde. Here's a pretty good ball game. Michigan and Maryland. Boston College made it 10-3 at the end of the quarter, and that's where we are. Close to halftime. 2nd and 2. Ball inside the 15. And down about the 9-yard line goes Ken Bell.
Well, he slipped and he could have picked up more yardage, but he did pick it up for the first down.
Big Jim Ostrowski is in there to block. He's a 271-pound junior guard. Time 1:11. Score 10-3 Miami. Boston College trying to get in. Remember last year, 47-45. Darren Flutie to Gerard Phelan. Purdue 7, Notre Dame nothing. Second quarter. Pretty good ball game right there. High formation. Mihalik and Giles are in there now. Tracy Giles. He tried to run the short side, maybe got a yard, no more.
They're continuing to slip, Eddie, on that side of the field. They've had the suction machine out here before the game basically all morning trying to dry the field off, but twice we've had BC runners running to the left, that part of the field falling down.
Syracuse and Virginia Tech, they got a tight one going in the second. Right here, it's pretty good also. Navy gone ahead of Virginia, 10-7. Staying ahead. 2nd and goal from the 8. Flutie to the wide side. Halloran. Intercepted. Look out. Selwyn Brown. If he doesn't run out of speed, he could go 100. Touchdown, Miami, with 7 seconds remaining in the half. A backbreaker. Miami's defense, much maligned. A defense in the secondary that gives up a lot of ground. They give up about 290 yards by the air per game, but watch this.
Selwyn Brown, number 32, zoning out, comes on and makes the interception. He is in the end zone. He may get 101 yards on this. Just a sophomore, 5'11", 191. Believe it or not, his first interception of the year, and what a first one to have. Sean Halloran makes a vain effort to try to catch up to him.
Greg Cox will come in to see if he can make it 17-3. With 7 seconds remaining, a backbreaker as far as BC is concerned. And he's got it. Miami 16.
Boston College 3.
Make it 17 now. Boston College 3. Oh, yes. You got to be happy there. Selwyn Brown. We'll wait for the official call, whether it was 100 or 101. But they're all there to make sure that he knows that he's well appreciated and gets the kind of accolades he should get on that one.
Guess that's what you call the aggressive defense. You mentioned that Paul Jett, the former defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, has come in to help Jimmy Johnson put together a defense that frankly has been their weakness in the last year or two. He did have 8 returning starters back on that defense, but he has certainly made them much more aggressive.
Kyle, unofficially, that is a new record by an opponent against Boston College on a run back of an interception. Previous to this, it was Paul Hefty who ran back an interception for 98 yards against Fordham in 1954, or for Fordham. And now a 100-plus yard return and the interception by Selwyn Brown. And Miami has gone ahead 17-3 with 7 seconds remaining in the half. So the secondary that gave up the big miracle pass last year has come back with one of their own. 100 yards. Booted around inside. Boston College will get it at the 20. Not quite sure who couldn't get a handle on the ball. It was John Mahalik who came away with it there, and Boston College now will take it over with 4 seconds remaining in the half. Well, there it is. Turnovers, fumbles. They've all played a key role so far in the first half. BC trailing at 17-3. 4 seconds. Sean Halloran, who's had a good first half, keeps it on the ground. Tracy Giles, and he runs right out to the 30-yard line before he's tackled by Darrell Fullington. And that is the end of the first half of football. It's Miami 17, Boston College 3.